And remember, the dative always follows the preposition von, whereas the accusative follows the preposition durch.
Right, but how do we put the passive voice into the past tense?
Do you remember the two main past tense forms we've talked about in German?
Yeah, there's perfect.
Perfect, or the conversational past, because it's used in conversation.
Right, and there's also imperfect or preteritum.
Right, the preteritum is also called the simple past, and we use that form of the past tense when we're telling a story or giving an account in the past tense.
Right, I remember we used the past tense of werden and using the first face of werden when used alone.
That's right. Let's look at some examples of that. Werden used by itself, the first face of werden. Ja, Julian wird krank.
Julian becomes sick.
And the imperfect, Julian wurde krank.
Julian became sick.
Right, and in the perfect tense, Julian ist krank geworden.
Julian has become sick.
Sehr gut.
Yeah, I remember that werden takes sein as a helping verb.
Richtig, gut. Right, and we'll see how this is very similar to how we put passive voice sentences into the past tense. In fact, only in the perfect is there a bit of a difference. Let's look. The passive voice. Okay, perfect tense. Die Dosen werden gesammelt. Imperfekt. Die Dosen wurden gesammelt. Und perfekt. Die Dosen sind gesammelt worden. Let's look at our other picture here. Die Energie wird gewonnen. And for the imperfect, die Energie wurde gewonnen. On the perfect, die Energie ist gewonnen worden.
Yeah, so the perfect form in the passive voice has a past participle and worden at the end of the sentence.
Worden.
So in the passive voice, we use the participle worden instead of geworden.
That's right. Always remember to translate the participle worden to the word ben, and you'll be in good shape. Okay? Have a look. Das Fahrrad ist benutzt worden. Now, if we translate that word worden into what I said,
Be ben.
ben, then we have a good start. Let's just translate now the rest of the sentence. Das Fahrrad would be
The bicycle has been
and then benutzt.
used.
The bicycle has been used. Okay?
And what about this sentence? Der Joghurt ist gegessen worden.
Right. Well, let's look at worden. Okay. And worden translates to ben. And der Joghurt ist going to be the yogurt has been eaten. Okay. Hey, wer hat den Joghurt gegessen?
Ich weiß es nicht. So, Herka, we talked about the third face of werden today, the passive voice. But do they have to remain separate? I mean, could we use two faces together, say future and passive?
That is a good question. The answer is yes, we can. Let's have a look. All right, so the passive, let's have a passive sentence here as an example. Das Spiel wird gewonnen. We know that's a passive sentence. It's got werden and it's got a participle at the end. And let's translate it.
The game is being won.
Right. But what we want to do now is we want to add the future tense. Okay? Now, how are we going to do that? Of course, with the future, you have to take your verb and convert it to the infinitive and put that to the
End of the sentence.
end of the sentence. So we're going to take wird and put it at the end of the sentence in the infinitive form, and that would be
Werden.
werden. That's correct. But now we're going to have to use the helping verb for the future tense. And do you remember what the helping verb is?
Wird.
Wird. Okay, and there's our sentence. Das Spiel wird gewonnen werden. Now, let's translate this. Wird, we would say in English, would be
Oh, will.
will, Okay, und das Spiel is, of course,
The game.
the game. Und werden here is
Be.
be. Und gewonnen is won.
Won.
The game will be won. That's passive and future together.
Cool. But Herr Ka,
Yeah.
I have a question. Are the faces you've shown the real faces of Werden?
9. Those are just faces I've taken from some German artwork, and I'll show you at the end where they're from. I just used those faces to demonstrate that there are 3 main uses of werden.
Okay. I guess students should now be ready to begin the Aufgabe.
Right. Aufgabe. Okay, Aufgabe. Übersetzen Sie ins Deutsche. Okay, and we have some sentences here. Thomas will sort the trash. The trash is being sorted by Thomas. Air pollution is being reduced, and use the verb reduzieren for that one. Nummer 4, air pollution will be reduced, and the cans have been separated, and you want to use trennen there. Now, are all of those sentences face number 3, the passive in German? Well, 4 of them are in the passive, and actually the 4th one, or the first one, is not in the passive. It's the
Future tense.
the future tense. And the 4th one is actually 2 faces, which are
The
passive and
future tense.
together. Okay, das war es.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.